Yo, what's good everybody? This is Saberwolf94 and today I'm gonna show you guys a deck profile with Espeon GX and Garbodor. Finally, after all this time, Espeon. It's a Pokemon that I eyed up since the beginning of the Sun and Moon, the first Sun and Moon set. This card is close to rotating out now, but as always, I had difficulty getting it. We didn't have it. Now I have had them for a few months. I toyed around with this card a little bit. And I decided, hey, you know what? I don't want to let the Sun and Moon era end without me showcasing this Pokemon. So here we are, Espeon GX with Garbodor and a few other cards. So this card was very good in the beginning, and then it sort of declined. The thing is with Espeon GX and just most of Espeon cards in general, they're all about this psychic attack right here. And it's an attack that is as good as the opposition has energies on it. So if your opponent's Pokemon have a lot of energies on, is good. When there are a lot of decks that use a lot of Pokemon with a lot of energies, this kind of attack is good. Pokemon like Espeon is usually good. When it's not, then it's not very good. Your opponent needs to have like 2 to 3 energies for you to be doing very high damage for just 3. But it's the same problem other Espeon cards had in the past. Espeon EX2, which this card is heavily based on around. Espeon, the Rise and Rivals one, SP1-2, it had that psychic attack. It's just a Pokemon that needs your opponent to have a lot of energies on. But Espeon GX, as is in general, is a solid GX Pokemon. 200 HP, only 1 retreat. Typical weakness to Psychic. It's got a nice cheap attack to start with. Psybeam, doing 1 for 30, and confusing the opponent. Very handy. Thanks to the Eevee with Energy Evolution from the same set, all we gotta do is just attach a Psychic Energy and we can evolve into it instantly. Very fast, very nice. I've already talked about the Psychic attack. It's the main attack you're going to be taking advantage of. You start at 60 and 30 more times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they have 2 to 3, you're doing solid damage, 120 to 150. If they have more than that, it gets even better. And Divide GX is a very good GX attack we aim to take advantage of. Just 3, once again, a Psychic and a DC, and you're able to do this. You're going to put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. So this is almost like an 100 damage snipe. The best part is that Mew bench barrier sort of doesn't block it, which is great. And you can actually divide the damage counters, as the name suggests. You don't have to necessarily do 100 to one Pokemon. So it's very good. So all around, a very solid Pokemon. We're going to aim to take advantage of it, see if it's good enough. To be honest, I think it's kind of good, since we have a lot of Pokemon that use a lot of energies now, like Zekrom and Reshiram perhaps. It might not be too bad. But I have 2 of these right here. It's the only 2 I have. I don't have 3, so I couldn't run more if I wanted to. You should be okay, because we do run one of the Lost Thunder Espeon too. This is a nice little card. It's just the regular Espeon, so it's only going to give 1 prize. Allure is a decent attack we can start with if we don't have a lot of good shit going. Draw 3 cards. But you don't really want to spend your time making an attack like this. You're probably going to lose, unless your opponent is kind of not doing too well either. The main reason is to use Energy Crush. It's another one of those energy type of attacks. Your opponent needs to have a lot of energies for this attack to be very effective. But the good news is that it's a lot more flexible. It's only going to do 20 damage, but it starts with 1 energy. You just need a Psychic, nothing more, nothing less. And 20 more times the amount of energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's not going to limit itself to just the active. So if your opponent has a lot of energy on the board in general, spread around, this attack is going to do good amounts of damage. So if they have, let's say, 4 energies around in total, you're doing 100 damage for 1, so it's not too bad. And even if you can do like 80 and 60 for 1, it's still pretty good. Just a stage 1 attacker, not bad. Another little side attacker. I decided to run, since I run the Lost Thunder Umbreon too in my Umbreon deck. Why not? Good little tech. Now the other Pokemon are going to be kind of typical. The Garbodor partner, it's kind of obvious. They worked well in the past before. You just use a Psychic Energy, and once your opponent plays a few items, Trash Launch becomes a very powerful attack. It's pretty simple. You use sort of Espeon in the early game, it's going to be a cheap, fast attacker. Slap a Psychic, start with Psybeam. Then you can do Psychic and Divide GX. If your opponent doesn't play items, they probably won't be very good. If they do play, then Garbodor can become very effective late game. So a 2-2 line of that. I'm also running a you could say 2-1 line. I got 1 Alolan Grimer and 2 Alolan Muck to help our opponent ditch those items from the deck if they're going to be stingy and not play them. It's just a nice little card. Why not? Stage 1, I decided to run a few of these. This isn't necessarily, Alolan Muck Garbodor deck like the one I showcased before. Espeon is going to have a big focus, but still running those few techs around. The reason it's just 1 Alolan Grimer is because I have the Tech Ditto Prism 2. This is supposed to be like a second Alolan Grimer, or it can be another Trubbish, just another Eevee if need be, just whatever. But pretty simple. And then for the rest of the Pokemon, it's just support. I have my Ferromaza here. This is just a free retreater. I mean, if we had something like Tabu Koko, I'd use it, but I never managed to get one in the end. So this is a free retreater. I guess we could do one for 22. You never know. 110 HP, pretty high. And then I have my Mew as well for bench barrier. I like this sort of Pokemon. It's going to help against Zekrom with its big sniping attack. And it's going to help out against a lot of shit. So why not run it? Simple Pokemon to use. I have the space. So I think it should be like 11 basics. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, so just 10. But a good decent amount. 17 Pokemon. We do have quite a few stage 1, so we got to be careful. But it should be fairly consistent with the rest of the trainer skeleton I have here. So, since this is mostly a Psychic deck, Mysterious Treasure is going to be very good. Not only does this help us get those basic Pokemon, I can even search out Espeon if I want to. You probably won't do this because when you attach an energy, you can evolve into Espeon instantly, but you never know. Mostly it's to search out the Garbodors, search out Trubbish, even the Mew if you want to, even the Alolan Grimer. This is why I run the Psychic one, so we can search it too. I don't need to run the Dark in this case. We don't necessarily use his attack. So the Psychic one, and even the Espeons, you never know. Then I gotta have your 3 Nest Balls, search out those basics, can grab anything, just more consistency, very, very good. I've got my consistency for searching out energies, 2 Energy Spinner, very nice. If you play second, you get that plus, you get 3 in your hand, very good. It's also important to search out the Psychic energies to make sure you attach them to Eevee and Evolve. You don't want to be without them. And I've got the Whistle, just a little bit of more drawing, just draw 1. You can run Acrobike if you want. I like Judge of Whistle better, but I understand the benefits of Acrobike too. Then we have some techs. Field Blower, always got to run it. 2 of these. 2 switches. It should be pretty good. I don't see a reason to run something like a Skateboard, because really the only Pokemon that can utilize it is Espeon, and normally I want to have a choice band on this little Vixen here, this little cat looking Pokemon. Yeah. And the other thing is that we do have our Ultra of the Moon as well. Get that free retreat going. When we have Psychic energies on, our Pokemon are going to have free retreat. So very good. 2 of these stadiums too. But it's just some pretty typical stuff. I've got my Rescue Stretcher. Just recycle a few cards in, or get a specific Pokemon in hand. And just 2 choice bands for our tools. I'd run more if I could, but space is an issue as always with these kinds of decks. And then just the supporters. Pretty simple. Maxing out the Cynthias. Very, very good. You gotta run your 1 Erika's Hospitality. Good supporter at the right time. You won't regret having it. Then I have my 2 Lilies. This is your best supporter, of course. Turn 1, draw 8. It works nicely since we have the Mysterious Treasures too. Ditch a few cards, thin our hand, search out some things, play the Pokemon down, and then draw a lot of cards. It's pretty damn good. Got 2 of these Tate and Liza. Just shuffle and draw. Should be solid. You never know when we can use this manual switching effect as well. Maybe the Mux would get stuck, or maybe Garbodor. You never know. I mean, I do have my switches, but you just never know. Uh, Maybe we won't have our stadium all the time up. So, yeah. Sometimes it's not good to spend an psychic energy, to move this guy out of the way if he gets stuck. So it's nice to have other just item supporter switching options. Speaking of which, this is where the Guzum comes in too. It's a pooling card and a switching card. Very, very nice. Gotta run him. And then last but not least, it's a card I don't usually run, but in this case, in this deck, I decided to try it out a bit. I've used it before in other decks, I just haven't shown them. But it's this Ingo and Emmet. This is sort of your shitty, you could say, Juniper / Sycamore. You draw 2 less cards, but you have the option to draw from the bottom of your deck as well. And you get the first card revealed on the top of your deck. So kind of giving you the opportunity to search out, draw what you need. What I mean to say, like if the first card revealed is something you don't need, then you draw from the bottom so that you don't draw a useless extra card, you could say, that you didn't want anyway. So just 2 of these guys. We can afford to ditch a few cards, so that's why it's in here. And these are all the supporters. I wanted to make this deck consistent enough. That's why I'm adding this guy. There is no Volkner here. It's not like I need any specific items to search in this deck. And then, last but not least, the energies. I have the 4 DCs. You gotta have them for Espeon. And then 8 Psychic Energies. Should be a decent amount. We've got the Energy Spinner to search them out as well. Attach them to Eevee, evolve into Espeon. Pretty simple. So this deck is very easy to use. It's stage 1s for the most part. And I've enjoyed using it so far. I'm going to show you guys some matches, of course, as always. Like I've said, a Pokemon like Espeon, it's not like Umbreon when it does that fixed damage, and it's always kind of decent. It's not going to be very effective against Pokemon that only have like 1 energy. Sometimes it's even troubling against Lost March, to be honest. Just doing 60 if they don't have energies on. But when they do have energies on, it's quite good. And this is what we're going to try and take advantage of here. Use this psychic attack. I just wanted to try out Espeon before the rotation happened. Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed this deck. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, and share this video with your friends. I hope the sound quality is going to be good. I'm trying out something different again today. It should be pretty nice, and I'm going to stick with what I'm doing here if I like the result. But hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like. I said all this shit. Thank you guys for watching as always. SebRolf94, and we'll say